Welcome back to Ms. Teacher 2 with Janice Leong. Today I'm going to be demonstrating a phonics spelling lesson. So in my classroom, when I'm introducing spelling lists to my students, I generally introduce 5 words per day. Prior to a lesson starting, I would review the grapheme sounds that we're learning for the week, and then I would launch into the spelling of the new 5 words. So this is the way that would look. I've pared down a lesson for this demonstration to 4 words. So we have 4 graphemes that we're going to be looking at in great depth for the 4 words we're demonstrating today. First grapheme is the of her. O. Sh. E always says E. In my classroom, when I'm introducing the graphemes, I'll hold up cards with the graphemes on them, and students will have to dig into their memory banks and try to recall as many of those graphemes as possible. If they stumble and they're having difficulty, then I go to I say it, you say it, and we relearn them together. Once this is done, I introduce the words one at a time. Before we get into word study, we talk about the vocabulary. What does the word mean? We try to use the word in a sentence so we have some context around it. After that, I sound the word out. I ask children how many syllables they're hearing. We clap out the syllables. We count the syllables for the word. Then I'll fingerspell the word for them, 1 syllable at a time, to give them an opportunity to guess the spelling of the word and to really dig into their memory banks and pull out their grapheme knowledge and try to put it to use writing the word down. My next video will be all about fingerspelling. So we'll see you in my next video. Okay, so before we go on to our pencil and paper activity to show you what that looks like, I'm going to show you what fingerspelling of the words look like. I picked 4 words from the lesson to fingerspell for you. One of them is a little trickier than the rest. It has a letter that's not making a true sound, which is a schwa. It always makes spelling in the English language a little more tricky and interesting. Let's get started. The very first word is overcook. So what I do is slow it down and we clap it out into the syllables. 3 syllables. Overcook. Then I spell them out one at a time, fingerspelling for my students to give them a chance to guess at the spelling in their book before I help them with spelling. It really allows them to really dig in their memory banks and try to recall as many graphemes as they can to try spell the word properly. So the first syllable is O. 1 finger up. I cue them with the 3 sounds of O, ah, o, oo, and tell them which sound it's making. So this is what I would say. Ah, o, oo, second sound O. Second syllable, fur. 3 fingers up. 2 fingers go together because it's 2 letters making 1 sound. And I would say ver, v, the of her. Third syllable, cook. 4 fingers, 4 letters. 2 in the center go together because it's 2 letters making 1 sound. Cook. K, s. First sound k. Oo, o. Second sound k. If they're in grade 2, I would say tall k, just to let them know it's a K, because the k s is over here at the front. Grade 3, I wouldn't do that. They should know that k, s, C has 2 sounds, and this is the first sound, and that if I say k, it's just a K, because that's the only sound K makes. So then I give students a chance to write that word down, and then I sound it out and I spell it, and we can either celebrate that we got it correct, or we can make some modifications to make their spelling of it correct. The second word we're going to fingerspell is shatter. 2 syllables, shatter. First syllable, 4 letters. First 2 go together. Sh, a, all the sounds of a, ah, first sound a, t. Sh, a, first sound a, t. Second syllable, ter, 3 letters. 2 are making 1 sound. There's only 2 sounds. T, the of her. I give students a chance to write that one down. Now the next word is the tricky one. It's got the schwa in it. Deliver. Deliver is how we like to spell it, but that's not how we always say it. You hear a few different things. Deliver, deliver, deliver. There's a lot of different vowel sounds going on there. So it can be quite confusing. So for that one, I cue my students as to that one letter being a schwa, being a little trickier. So for that one, deliver has 3 syllables, so we clap it out. Deliver. I'll spell the first syllable. 2 letters, D, E. E, second sound E. But if it's a schwa, I go otherwise known as ah. And they understand that that's my cue. That's the tricky one to look out for. Second syllable, live, 3 letters. O, I, E, y. It's all the sounds of I. First sound I. V. So O, I, E, y. First sound I. V. And then the last syllable, 2 letters. The of her. Now the last word is referee. 3 syllables, referee. First syllable, ref, 3 letters. E, first sound f. Second syllable, the of her. Last syllable, double E, always says E. Okay, I'm going to get my pencil and paper, and I'm going to show you what that looks like in writing. Go. Okay, so this is our written portion of our spelling lesson. So the 4 words that we're going to work on, first I would give students the first word. I would say it slowly, and I would break it into syllables and give them a chance to write it first. The written portion looks like this. So number 1, I would sound the word out while I'm spelling it slowly all together. Overcook, O, V, K, K. Then I would ask students to break it into syllables, and I get volunteers, and then I'd split the word up like this. O, ver, k, k. Then I would ask student volunteers to help me mark the word. And this is really, we're studying the word in depth at this point. So a student would volunteer that the O was making its second sound. So I'd underline the O and put its second sound above. Another student I select would say, oh, it's the of her. I would underline that. O in the word cook is making its second sound. This is exactly like the finger spelling. So the underlining is basically showing children that those 2 letters are working together to make one single sound. So the next word we're looking at is shatter. So I put number 2 down. Shatter. I'd sound it out and spell it. Then I'd ask students to break it into syllables. And I would also discuss the double T and why that A is making its first sound as opposed to its second sound. And it is literally being protected by the double consonant there. So we would have a discussion about that and spelling rules around this word. But I would have students break it as well into syllables. So the syllables would be between the 2 T's. So it would be spelled Then I'd ask student volunteers to help me mark the word. So sh is 2 letters making one sound. And on the very end we have the of her. We do not have to mark the A in this one because it's making its first sound. So letters that are making their first or only sound have no markings. Number 3. Deliver. D, E, O, I, V, Now this was the tricky one with the schwa. So first I'd have the students break it into syllables. This one has 3 syllables. So d, e, l, I, v, Then I'd ask students to volunteer for suggestions on how to mark the word. Now the very first thing students are going to grab onto is that schwa, because I've really emphasized that with my finger spelling. Any letter that is making a sound that's foreign to that specific letter, or something other than that letter, if it's a silent letter, it gets a double underlining. Now this one should be making the second sound, deliver. It gets a double underline because it's a schwa. Because you can say deliver, deliver. You can hear a few different vowel sounds going on there, and that's what makes it a schwa. And the next thing that's going to be underlined is the of her on the end of the word. Again, I does not get marked because it's making its first sound. Number 4, referee. E. Then I ask students to volunteer to break it into syllables. It will look like this. E. Then I ask student volunteers to help me mark the word. The E does not get marked because it's making its first sound, not its second. The of her, there we have 2 letters working together making one sound. And E always says E. And that's what our markings will look like. And I just have a little additional information for you. If you're a teacher and you're keen to bring phonics spelling into your classroom, there are many, many really decent resources out there. There's one gentleman online, his name is Alex Deldaris. He has a wonderful YouTube channel with lots of practice videos. They're excellent for classroom use, and they're also really good support resources for parents and students at home. In addition to that, some of my favorite teaching resources are Literacy Map, which is available through Edmonton Public Schools, and Logic of English. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video and it's useful to you, please like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Thanks.